Allegedly, we are live. We're going to find out in a minute. Man, I hope so. Hope it's all working out. Hope everyone's good. Okay, I'm seeing. You guys see anything? There we go. There I am. All right. We're live, all the way live. This is Dodgers 2080. I'm Tim, and we are here to just go for it. Let's have a good time today. It's the 4th of July. The colonies are free. All love to our friends in the UK, but kind of glad some of the Bostonians didn't like tea. No, just kidding. I think one of the things we have is coffee over tea. For me, it's Dr. Pepper Zero over tea, and coffee. But I drink plenty of coffee too. Hopefully everyone's good. Can I get something in the chat just to say that you can see as I move my head back and forth? And I'm trying something different because what I'm looking at doing, I'm going to turn this off. Hopefully it doesn't kill my camera. Okay, good. I actually sent out some invites to people. We'll see if they show up. If they show up, great. If not, what can you do? I just sent a few out. So let's see. I'd like to see it better. Live on my 74K. Oh, nice. Rich, my man. Oh, my man. Richie from Devore. All right. Loud and clear. Thanks, Aeronatic. So, Sal. Hey, Mike, I sent you something if you want to come on. Check your email if you want to come on. As long as you want, short as you want, whatever. So I'm sent a few invites out. I don't know. Richard, I don't have your email. You didn't get invite. I sent, let's see. I sent it out. I sent it. It was, let's see. I hope I got the right one. Check your email. Worst case, I can text you the link if you want to come in. Where'd it go? All right, where's my show? There it is. Let's see. Copy link invite. Let's see. Where are you? Dang, man. This thing's being silly. Let me try it again. All right. I'm going to get this to you, Mike. Where's the bobbleheads in the background? I don't have a man cave yet. I'm still working on it. I am still working. Dodgers keeping May. I don't know. I don't think long term, I doubt that's going to happen. You never know. I mean, so we're going to talk about that for sure. There was definitely some interesting, I thought some interesting things yesterday. And we'll talk about those. I thought there was some really encouraging things. Oh man. Let me see if I can do this. Mike Salas. Man, this thing's being stupid. Man, I'm not seeing him. Hey Mike, can you send me a text? And I'll get you on. If you want to go. You don't have to, of course. Let's see. I'll get it going. All right. So let's talk. Let's talk turkey. We have the Dodgers, who, oh man, I got to be honest with you folks. It was one of the most encouraging games of the year for me. I know it's kind of weird, but ooh, what do you got? There we go. Oh, look at that. I got Mike in the house. Right on, man. Woohoo. It worked. I wanted to try some stuff, get some more people in here, not just have me talking to myself. Sometimes I like to do that, but good to see you, Mike.
Good to see you. You
Yeah,
hear me all
man.
right?
All right. Yeah, I'm good. Just 4th of July in and all that good stuff. You gonna do anything
Get
fun?
all set up.
There you go. Sounds good. All right. So we got Mike Salas, Dodge Beat, the man, the myth, retired now firefighter. Yeah,
I'm loving it.
and Richard Flores cannot wait for the Conforto bobblehead night. My
Right.
man, Richie's good people, man. I'm glad that's one of the best things about all this online stuff. You know how we met through all this stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and of course, meeting Clint and all those other folks, Clint and Doug and Roger and Cody. I haven't met Cody in person yet. Have you met Cody in person?
No, not in person. Just
Yeah,
through
just online.
text.
Yeah,
Online stuff and.
a lot of good folks out there.
Mhm.
But okay, let's talk about the game last night. I was, I gotta be honest with you, I was super encouraged. It was the weirdest thing how optimistic I felt watching that game.
Yeah,
Dustin May pounding the zone.
Dustin May looking like we thought that he would look when eventually, not right off the bat. He's going to need to adjust and not just come out and start firing. Coming off of surgery and a threatening event, you got to give the guy a little bit of time. But I was totally happy for Dustin May, man. He totally deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and just what is it was like threw like very few balls out of the zone
Yes.
for his pitch count was real low. I think one of the characteristics we've seen in so many of his starts is like that ball's all over the place.
Yes.
And there was a few. Now we'll talk about this, but it was the White Sox. This wasn't one of the best teams, and they chased a couple things, but the video game movement that you see,
Hmm.
and I mean, just that alone is kind of remarkable to watch. I don't know,
Well,
man. It was just
well,
encouraging.
even though it's the White Sox, I mean, like you're saying, this is a very encouraging, start for him.
Yeah,
He's able to get his mechanics, kind of where he wants, and he's looking a lot better. You said his pitch count was low. I think the thing that he still needs to work on is not getting frustrated like he did in the eighth inning when he gave
yeah,
up, the run, and then he just went downhill after that. In a way, he kind of reminds me of Bobby Miller, when he gets that way. But he
yeah.
is, his stuff plays, and I think this is encouraging, and I think we're going to see more of this from him.
Boy, I hope so, and for his own sake. I mean, because
Mhm.
there's help is on the way, people.
Yeah,
I mean, so we've got different reports, right? We got Sheehan, who's going to be called up one of these days. He's going to get a start real soon.
tomorrow I think,
Is it
or
tomorrow?
Sunday. I think it's Sunday.
Tomorrow, Sunday,
I think it's Sunday.
um, and then Tyler Glasnow
He
was,
got Sheehan got lit up in Vegas though.
but it is Vegas.
Yeah,
Got some altitude there. And then yeah, we have Glasnow is on the way back.
he did really good last night. I posted a whole bunch of stuff on him last
Yep.
night. Watched the whole game. Tyler Glasnow, that was by far his best rehab start. His stuff looked really good. His curveball looked super good. His fastball reached up to 98 miles an hour and wasn't all over the place. It wasn't up high and on the outside like it was his last two starts. It was pinpoint. So he looked really good last night.
Absolutely. And then with him, I mean, we know the whole thing. Glass
Hmm.
now. And it's okay. And I know that most of the chat's going to go, we can't count on him. We can't count on him. And I get it. However, however, See Richard's right there waiting for Glasnow to back on the IL for dandruff. But
Wow.
he is one of the better pitchers in baseball.
He is.
Yeah. And the hope I was talking to a neighbor of mine. I got this neighbor, 87 years old, named Jerry. Jerry's cool, man, because he went to the Coliseum for baseball games. He saw Koufax live.
Nice.
So we were talking about that, and I was going, and I said right here, can't we just activate him like in late August and have him for the playoffs? That's Glasnow in the postseason. A healthy Glasnow would be so awesome.
Yes.
And then we've got Emmett, hopefully on Sunday, or it's coming soon.
I think it's Sunday. I think they said it was
I
Sunday.
remember some about that. Yeah, it's one of those Dave Roberts. Well,
Yeah.
and Dave, they're not going to say anything substantial other than some good hints. Then we have Blake Snell throwing to hitters, sounded like he was feeling good. From the relief side, Blake Trinan. Oh boy, we need Blake back. But again, can we just have him come back like in late August?
Yes. It's Blake Triton looked really good also. Roger posted some stuff, with Blake Snell and Triton when they did their live BP the other day.
Yeah.
And everything that that I saw, and Snell looked good. Yeah, I don't know. In a way, I wasn't like a big fan of of his signing in the beginning. But it is what it is. He's on the team, and you got to support the guy. I've always been a Blake Triton fan, just for personal reasons. Yeah, he looked really good. Also, he's got that video game, pitching also, and he threw some of that. I was curious to see who the batters were. I mean, Hassan Kim batted against Blake Snell and just could not hit anything off of him because it was just all over the place. So he looked good.
That's good. And then and Trinan, because if you look at it, he was probably our most valuable pitcher in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
I know Mookie was given like the overall postseason MVP, which was deserved, but Trinan had to have been in the conversation. And then there's another, Roki actually they said was starting to throw the ball a little bit more in the outfield with some velocity. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of competition for some starting spots.
I don't think he's going to be a factor this year, honestly. I just don't. I don't see it.
And they shouldn't push him anyway.
Yeah, I think we see him down in Oklahoma.
That'd be fine. I mean, if that's that, and actually that makes a lot of sense. I mean, let's be honest, they were pushing him for the Japan thing.
Yes.
And was it worth it?
Well, I mean, coming to the Dodgers, signing with the Dodgers, on the minor league contract, being out with a mysterious injury, in the NPB, for 3 months, and the team never identified what it was. He never identified. His agent never identified what it was. It was all a mystery, and it turns out, it's something wrong with his elbow or whatever, something that's in there that the Dodgers found, and so you don't want to be pushing that, for a kid that's, 22, 23 years old, who's going to be the future, star of your team behind Yamamoto. And, let the kid just, go up there, figure things out. If he needs to get some stuff cleaned out, clean it out. And, and then let him cook, next year.
Yeah. I mean, the goal is to not count on him this year.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you can do that, I mean, and you start looking, oh my God, you start looking at the future. And you go, okay, we got Justin Robleski looking really good. So I'm so happy for that guy.
Me too.
Still remember covering him at Rancho. He's a big, long-haired, stringy-haired kid, coming back from Tommy John. And he's, pumping 99, 98, 99, and kind of in some ways consistent. He brings it when he needs it, but it's always there when he needs it. And just for him, I could swear, and I talked about this before. It's about confidence with that kid. He just wasn't confident. He was always pitching scared, right? You'd see him
Yeah.
just kind of avoiding the zone. And
Mhm.
man, it's so fun to watch him. You know, as you know, you're a prospect weirdo like I am. You know, it's like it's so fun to see these guys that you know they're growing up right before our eyes. So we got Ben Kasparius, friend of the show. I know he struggled his last game, and you know he's going through a conversion. I mean, I talked to him not off the record, but I didn't record it, and
Mhm.
it was a real question. But he said, you know, it's not hard, it's not easy
Right.
doing what he's doing.
Mhm.
So there might be some rough spots. But I think what are last? Are we 9 up now? Is it
Yeah.
9?
Yeah. It's 9 or 10 or something like that.
Gosh, it's it, they're back to being that machine again, and
And still not completely healthy, and
yeah,
still not playing at a high level, that they could play. I mean, they're still playing. I don't want to say like average ball or whatever, but you know, they still haven't peaked, in my opinion. Hopefully, they peak in October, November. But yeah,
well, I'm with you. Oh, so okay, and Aronetic put it. It's Kasparius is starting tonight.
yes, he is.
Okay, against Baby Goose or Baby Goose is Junior, Lance McCullers Jr. His
Mhm.
dad was Baby Goose because he looked like kind of Rich Gossage out there, the Goose Gossage. So they called him Baby Goose, and so this guy is Baby Goose Goose. Always remember though, Lance McCullers Jr. was part of that 2017 team. He knew what was going on. So bring it tonight, folks. A little extra booze for the 2017 metal piece of metal champion.
Yeah. Hold let me do something real quick.
Yeah, Charlie, here's them dogs, man. I'll go through some chat. Let's see. So thanks, Aeronetic, for that. Yeah, Dodgers are 9 up. Roki Sasaki needs to go apartment hunting in OKC in the old OKC Thunder NBA championship shirt. See you in Camelback. Oh man, so Richie's saying that bobblehead, it's face value for top deck is $250 for the Kershaw 3000K bobblehead.
Wow.
Man, oof. I want it, but not that much.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just glad to be there. You know, I was there. Richie was there on the top deck. Clint was at the loge level. Didn't even get a chance to hook up with Clint. I left early. I'm the bad fan that
Did
sometimes
you leave early? Really?
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to work
I
the
get
next
it.
day. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it was either get home at like 11:30 or at 1:30.
Right.
And just a few years ago, I could have done a lot more. So it's only McCullers and Altuve that are left from that 2017 team. That's interesting. Well, everyone boo Altuve for sure. If you so choose, he was the most disappointing of all the people on that team for me.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
You know, it's like I used to root for that guy like crazy. I like, oh, this guy's great. You know, he's 5'2", whatever he is, and doing magic work out there. Seemed like a good dude, but you know, I guess whatever, right? Everyone's got a price.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
it's
I
kind
mean,
of
honestly, I'm kind of over that whole situation already.
mm,
Most of the guys are already all gone that were there. So it's
I wanted that ring so bad.
yeah, no doubt
Mm.
about it. But
Yeah,
time for me, just
yeah.
time to move on.
I'll never get over that one. I spent a lot of money going to those games at Dodger Stadium.
Right?
But else, I will never get over game 2 mostly. That was the one for me that just destroyed. That was the one that set the trajectory for no matter what, cheating or not, the Dodgers should have won that thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, okay, let's talk about Mookie Betts hit a home run. And
Very nice.
he drove it. Well, and then he also had the Ella Shiva, I'm with you. Um, he drove it. He that sacrifice fly in the ninth inning, the other game, in the Wednesday game. He hit that deep fly.
Yes.
And then he got one out. Hopefully there's man. I was joking with D-Mac, it's like he's turning into Omar Vizquel, man. Really good fielding shortstop, that can't hit. But that's encouraging to see Mookie actually able to hit the ball again hard, because I don't know.
Very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
To me, in the beginning, I would say yes, it was the illness,
Mm-hmm.
losing all that weight, losing all
Yep.
that energy, but he's got all that back and put some on, as far as muscle and all that. To me, I think it's just been all mental for him. The pressure of trying to be an elite shortstop,
Mm-hmm.
the pressure of being on the team, being one of the faces of the team, and not, performing the way he's expected and the way that he knows that he can. So I
Yeah.
think the pressure really got to him. So I think that's what, to me, that was more of it, than, him being sick or, him. I go to quite a few games. I've covered quite a few games this year, and seeing him on the field, yes, he does come out early, and he is there, perfecting his craft.
Mm-hmm.
Taking balls in the field, getting some stuff hit, with the small glove, hand-eye coordination, getting his throwing down, getting his feeding down, his routes down. He's doing that. But I don't think that's ever been like a big thing for him. It affected his hitting. I just think just all the pressure of everything, was more of it.
Yeah. I'm with you. It just kind of steamrolled, it seemed like.
Hmm.
And now hopefully he's adjusting. And I mean, because he does look really good at shortstop.
He does.
The action and all that, it looks so much smoother than last year. So I mean, props to Mookie Betts. He's turning into one of my all-time favorites, just because first of all, he's the littlest guy on the field. Or
Hmm.
no, well, Kim is now, at least height wise. Kim's thicker though. Kim's right up there with Mookie in terms of being thick.
Have you seen him on the field?
Huh?
Have you
Kim?
seen him? Have you seen him up close and on the field?
I've seen him up close in the
Dude, he's
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 jacked.
jacked,
Yeah.
jacked.
Yeah.
I was surprised the first time that I was in the clubhouse and saw him. I
Yeah.
was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He's thick, man, in a good way. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just the fact that Mookie Betts is playing really good shortstop is amazing. So we
Hmm.
got some chats in here, some good stuff. Talking about Richie talking about Conforto, and let's talk about him. 3 home runs in 6 games. What are we thinking, man? Are we getting him? Are we getting the real guy?
I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of him signing in the first place. Um, just like you, and most of us that cover the minor leagues, I think there was minor leaguers that could have come up in the beginning of the season and started out. I'm a big advocate for Ryan Ward, man. I mean, that dude is mashing
No.
in AAA. He's an above average outfielder. He's got a good arm. He's got good speed. He plays just as good, if not better, than Conforto out in the left field. He is a natural left fielder,
Mm-hmm.
and I just blows my mind, that the Dodgers never gave this guy, a chance. He hit his 22nd home run opposite field last night, you know, and for a 3-run blast,
Yeah.
giving up, Oklahoma the lead. He just comes up clutch, and granted, it's the minors, but I honestly think that he could do that in the majors, not to the point, to what he's doing right now. I mean, just look at rushing. Granted, he's not playing a whole lot,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, Ryan Ward's bat was just as good, if not better, than Dalton Rushing's.
Yeah, I think it's with Ward and in some of these other guys that we've wanted to get a chance. I just think the Dodgers don't believe in them. They see something
Yeah.
in rushing that they don't see in Ward, or they didn't see in Ryan. I think they see Ryan Ward as a Ryan Noda type
Mhm.
guy. Might have some success, but long term, they're not a believer. Move the guy then.
Well, he's going to get moved at the end of the year, anyways. But
Yeah,
you know,
but and also at the same time, the rest of the league must not think that much of him either, because he was Rule 5 eligible.
yes. In the
I mean,
beginning,
so and I know there's roster things, but it's like if they really believe the guy is going to do it, you'd think that they would draft him. But
mhm.
still, yeah, I feel bad for some of those guys, but man, let's see, Justin Lamas, um, likes Mookie at second or right field. I don't think he's ever playing right field again full time.
No, he won't. He
That's
won't.
done. And really, let's be honest, the right fielder we have is already on the roster, but he's playing a lot of center. His name's Andy Pajes.
Right.
Tails is killing us out there, man. And I think that might be the biggest argument, even if Conforto kind of heats it up a bit. Teo and Wright's a disaster.
I mean,
It's
but honestly, are you surprised?
a little bit, because that's where he had played and said he was comfortable, blah blah blah. I just don't think he reads the ball very well, because
Uh,
either that or he's lazy. There's one of the two.
I think it's both. I'm
He's
I'm
so
not surprised.
tentative out there.
I'm not surprised about his play. In the
Man,
right field. You know, personality wise, clubhouse wise, his bat. Yes, I wanted to see him come back, but I wasn't wanting him to come back because he was an elite outfielder. He's not.
yeah,
You know,
that's for sure.
he's just like Soto out in right field. Soto is not an elite outfielder. He's horrible also.
Yeah.
His bat and his presence in the clubhouse is what makes him, a value to this team.
Yeah, and with the reason I want him in left is because if the ball goes to left field and it gets by him, it still might be just two.
Yeah, yeah,
Gets by him in right field, it's three.
yes,
That's and there seems like there's been quite a few of those that have happened. It's like whether it's an error or just being slow to get to the ball or whatever, he doesn't look comfortable out there. Um, yeah, it's a disaster. So Andy Pajes in right field is he all of a sudden you have one of the top 3 or 4 defensive right fielders in baseball,
hmm
and right. And then just go, center field. It could be, I don't care if it's Tommy Tanks or what, but man, I'd like defense is going to matter. It always does matter. Just ask the 2024 New York Yankees.
right.
We did all those things. The Dodgers did all those things well, and the Yankees didn't. And even Teo throwing old Giancarlo out at home from left field. We know Teo's got an arm. Just
hmm
don't like the side to side or ground balls, or even right at him. Sometimes been a little scary this year. He's just not reading the ball well, or
No,
whatever. Right? It's just bad.
I don't
Justin
know if he needs to go
Justin
to.
Yamas says I can say them. They're both okay. I like it. Richie's asking about trusting the Dodgers on Muncie. Um, and he said, and it's true though. Do you trust Russian state media before the Dodgers? And we've seen that over the years that they are not a fan of letting out information
Right.
at any level. And I that's actually it's actually good.
I think he's going to be out longer than 6 weeks, though.
Oh, it's a bone bruise. It just depends. Bone bruises, man. I
Is
remember.
it really a bone bruise, though? That's the
Well,
question.
that's always the question. But even a bone bruise, um, my son got one in football in what? Geez, a long time ago now. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
like 17 years ago. It was the most painful thing I've watched. Taking him to the hospital. I thought it was way worse. Um, but one of his coaches said, "Yeah, bone bruise hurts more than just about anything you can get." But yeah, is it something else? I don't know. Because if it even was 6 to 8 weeks, do you really go and risk it that he can't come back?
I think they're gonna slow play him like they've been doing everybody else. For this year. And that's not a bad thing for him to heal
Yeah,
correctly. I mean, the older you get, the harder it is to heal. When I was younger and playing sports, and it was just like I was down, but I was up. Within like 2 or 3 days later.
yeah,
Because you're healing. But then in my previous job that I had, when I had like major injuries, it took me like a long time to recover. And I was in like really good shape. You
yeah,
know, so it's I don't know. I'm not I wouldn't be mad if they just like slow play him, but
yeah,
I honestly think because I had an injury almost identical to his, um, the way that his knee tweaked, when
yeah.
it got hit, and I didn't have complete tear, but my ligaments were stretched out to where they needed to. It didn't require surgery or anything, but so there's more damage in there, more than just in my opinion,
Right.
more than just a bone bruise.
I mean, well, we'll find out as this goes on. If all of a sudden you see at the trade deadline the Dodgers trade for a third baseman, then we'll know who will know.
Yeah,
And I'm just waiting for the
knee
clickbait.
replacement surgery.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
What's it, Norman Avocado or whatever his name is. It's gonna start. I just don't see that's. I don't care if we don't have a third base. I don't think he's a fit. Unless we're getting like Ryan Helsley with him and stuff like that and giving him a can of corn. We don't have Chris Taylor or Austin Barnes to trade him anymore. But I don't know. I'm not I don't know. I'm not that worried, but yeah.
yeah.
September comes around. That's when they need to be ready. Um
There's plenty of talent on the team right now that could that
yeah.
can fill in for that spot. I mean, I don't know why the Dodgers went out and got the ace third baseman. Uh,
That's
whatever. Yeah,
I think that's just the depth.
yeah.
I mean, one of the first things that people tweeted out was, "What about Alex Freeland?" But he's only played like 10 games there at third this year.
He played last night. For the first time.
Oh, surprise!
Yeah, they had him at third base last night, and that was his first start since like April 27th or
Yeah,
21st or something like that. He overthrew a ball, which is whatever. He's got a cannon of an arm.
yeah,
Um, Honestly, watching him play in April, when Hassan Kim was there, and and they were trading off and he was trading off with Freeland at shortstop, every other day or whatever it was. I honestly thought Alex Freeland was a better third baseman than a shortstop. Um, just the way he attacked the ball. Uh, to me, he looked a little bit more comfortable at third base than he did at short. Um, and his throws were like right on there. He's got a
yeah.
great arm. Um, but they did have him there last night.
Good. Well, given where they're at, he should be playing that position.
His bat's not too good though. It hasn't been
Yeah, no, that's
for
the
a
other
while.
part of it. Yeah. Oscar Vargas asked a really good question. What do you make of Hope and DePaula not getting promoted to Double A yet?
No room.
Who? I mean, but Tulsa's not even that good, right?
They're not.
Who do we have in there?
They're not moving anybody. I mean, their outfield is you're going to get rid of Ramos. I mean,
Yeah. I
he's
know he's been doing
virtually
well,
he's
but
virtually the offense for Tulsa right now. They're actually doing good the second half. The first half, they were completely horrible. I don't know. I've been watching a whole lot of their games because I've been mainly focused on Oklahoma and the Loons,
yeah,
and I've been focusing a little bit on Rancho uh, because those both the Loons and OKC have been fairly competitive all year and have a very exciting club
yeah,
um, with a lot of talent on it. So I've been mainly focusing on them. I'll I'll tune in every once in a while to a few Tulsa games, but yeah, there's just no room for them. That they have players. In my opinion, we have players that are in Tulsa that I don't even know why they're still on the club. We have people that need to be promoted, so
Yeah.
it's time to to get rid, clean some house a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and with Ramos, I mean, this is like his 3rd year in Tulsa. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, finally. I mean, but and he's very talented. I mean, he's kind of would say he's got some of the talent skills that I think Pages has. He's got that big arm
Hmm.
and he's got big power.
Hmm.
Kind of this both 70 grade type levels of those things, but Pages has adjusted where it's like he's not, striking out as much and well, we see him fouling a bunch of balls off, just
Right.
becoming a really darn good ball player. Well, could Ramos do that? I don't know.
And you got Chris Newell that is playing center field and
Mhm.
and right, um, and that's basically where DePaula and Hope are playing. Hope is mainly playing left field and some right field. He made
Yeah.
a really good play last night, in right field. Um, Almost caught a ball over the fence. And luckily, it got snagged up in his glove and brought it back in,
Mm.
to not get the home run. But yeah, they're both talented. Um, they're going to be future, talents out in the outfield. Um, you know, the Loons are choked with top
I know.
30 talent right now with Sirota,
Yeah.
DePaula, Hope, and George, and yeah. I do they really need to go to Double A? Uh,
Mhm.
OKC is getting decimated right now by call-ups all the time.
Yeah.
you know, just send them up there. Hainline just, only because Rancho was, playing in San Jose, when
Right.
they were in Sacramento, but Hainline went over to Oklahoma and produced and did very well. And,
That's
you
cool.
know, and so there's nothing saying, that, Hope and DePaul can't, move straight up.
Showtime LA has said that Bruce Kuntz said he's heard Hope and JDP are close to getting called up. I mean, Kuntz has been, he's the one that broke the Glasnow Pepio trade, so we're gonna, it's like, oh, Bruce said something. Okay, hope Bruce doesn't get in trouble because Dodgers aren't fans of that stuff.
I think it was Showtime. I do think it was his last rehab.
Yeah,
Just the way that he did. Um, the Dodgers and the coaching staff, Dave Roberts, are very happy with with his performance that was there, and I think he goes. I don't think we see him in another rehab.
yeah. Now when did they go to the vaunted? Tim Rogers has been asking for this since 2019. The 6-man rotation.
I never thought that they were going to do it this year. Listening to the beginning of the year, um,
Yeah.
the conversations that. God, why am I drawing a blank on the pitching coach's name?
Prior?
Prior.
Yeah.
Just listening to him, before the season ever started, listening to him, at spring training, because I was with you, I was just like, okay, this is going to be the year of 6-man rotation. And after listening to him, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I still think it's a huge mistake. I'm
I do.
very concerned about Yamamoto. Um,
Yes.
oh, super chat, timeout. I haven't got one of those in a while. Richie's saying, I understand Brooks Robinson is available. Wait, he just passed. Dodgers need another reliable arm and solid defensive outfielder. Dodgers won't be very active at the deadline. Okay, the deadline. Let's just jump to that a little bit because it is kind of baseball Christmas in July as we get to the trade deadline. Especially for content creators, right? Oh, one little rumor, I get to make a whole show out of it. Um, and I will.
Right.
But I mean, what the Dodgers did last year, they're able to make those types of moves, to get an Edman. to get a Kopech. You can never have enough pitching. And well, Flaherty was a must-have. They had to get another pitcher.
Oh, definitely.
But hopefully that's not the case this year. But I say that as the person that always says you can never have enough pitching, then pitchers break, right? So I don't know. Deadline. I think a lot depends on Conforto. I think a lot depends on Muncy now, regretfully.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's me. I want to see a pitcher more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm a little worried about Yamamoto. Sort of, a little worried. He was, used heavily and hard, in the NPB for about 4 years. There's a lot of wear and tear on that arm, from
Yeah.
from Japan, that's in here. Switching him up, uh, his personal trainer that he brought over from Japan, um, has been working with him pretty heavily, on his centering, his balance, and his push off, and from the plate. So it's his mechanics are still there. He's definitely an all-star pitcher.
Yeah.
I think the 2 starts ago kind of hurt him in regard to this Cy Young, but he could still make that up. I still had him winning a Cy Young this year, um, and making the All Star. But you know, I just I think seeing him and out on the field and what he does, I'm not as worried as I thought I would be at this time of the year, knowing that he's taking care of his arm and his mechanics, and he's got a good, very good, solid program going on right now.
Yeah, I look at now there has been changes. His last couple starts have been very good. But when he was the Friday night starter, he was the best pitcher in baseball. Or right there, right? He was
Mhm.
right in that top, that top level. And then they started messing with it. And all of a sudden those numbers went really south. And last year we saw him get hurt and miss 3 months.
Mhm.
And he was still, in some ways, it felt like he was rehabbing in the playoffs there. But he kept getting better. I mean, what is it? The one gave up one hit in the 6 innings. It was a World Series start, and was awesome against that second game against the Padres, against one of his heroes. Let's see what we got. Oh, no names in the house. See, Showtime LA says they need Evan Phillips replacement. Yeah, well, that could be. We'll see. That could be Benny C. At the end of the day, I think,
Or Robusky.
or Robles. Yeah, I mean, both those. It would be a unjust if either one of those guys get sent down.
And again, just like last year, we have our pitchers from, you know, AAA, Double A, coming up and putting in time and showing their worth, and doing it. Robleski, I think is. I don't think that the loss of Evan Phillips is that detriment. Especially with Kasparius and and Robo that's there. We do have still pitchers that are down, below that could still come up and help. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the bullpen portion of it.
Yeah, I mean, we still got Edgardo hopefully coming around, and
Yeah, he looked good in his last start too. That his last start was probably his best one.
good. Yeah. Definitely a fan of his, and hopefully that, and the guy throws 102. Let's go. Uh, and we're getting the buildup of Shohei Ohtani
Hmm.
as a starter. I actually really like what they're doing. I think this was, and I
Definitely.
actually had talked about this right before they did it. It's like, why not just have him as an opener? Because he doesn't take a roster spot. That's what's the greatest thing about it, right? He doesn't take a roster spot as a pitcher. He's
Mhm.
just, oh wait, we can have a guy pitch also. So at least he's burning a couple innings here and there, and he's going to do that for a while. I don't mind if they do this for a long time. in terms of just having him open and go a few innings. If they're not gonna do the 6-man rotation,
Right.
it just burns innings. It doesn't cost a roster spot. That's one of the great things about it. But he's also looking pretty darn good.
Yes. Yeah.
What
And
do
just to answer Nando's point there,
Yeah.
yeah, personally, I see Miller, Outman, and Fiducia gone next year.
Mm,
And also, you're going to see Ryan Ward um, go to free agency
that's right.
also. And then that's when, to answer, the previous questions about um, all the, single A folks and, some of the Rancho folks. That's when I think next year is we're going to see a big move up and switch after Oklahoma wins the national championship this year.
And then also we have the draft coming up,
Yes.
and that means players will have to get released. So this is the time of year when, I mean, when the draft happens, we're going to all of a sudden see about 5 or 6 guys from Rancho get moved up.
Hmm.
And then that means the Loons guys will move up. And there's along that way, players will be getting released. I hate that part of the game. It's gonna probably be people that we've covered. But I think with that, that's probably when they're gonna move up. And that's when Kasparius and Kopp and all those guys and Damon Keith in 2022 moved up, was right around that July time.
Hmm.
And so it is July now. Can you believe it? Um, Oscar, you see Oscar's thing there? It's that whole dream scenario there.
What you
What
said?
do you decide on the perfect world scenario where Yoshi, Snell, Glass, Kerr, Show, and Roki are healthy in the postseason? That's just, let's have that problem, folks.
I think we see that next year. We definitely don't see it this year. I think
Well,
I think
yeah.
that is a high probability for next year.
Well, and next year also you start throwing in Sheehan. You start throwing in maybe River Ryan coming back again. Kyle Hurt. I'm missing one of frickin' our innings eater last year, Gavin Stone. One of the most valuable pitchers on the Dodgers last year. Yeah. Hey, Austin Brubaker's in the house.
Happy New Year or Happy 4th, Austin.
Yes.
That was a
Austin,
good game yesterday.
hey, Austin, send me your email address at dodgers2080@gmail.com. Because then what I'm doing, I'm just pulling people in who want to come into the stream that are already content creators. So I'm going to start. I think it's kind of fun. It's like, hey, whoever shows up, great. If no one shows up, I'll just go solo. But I'm so glad, Mike, you showed up, man. It's so
Thanks for
good.
having me.
Let's see. Yo, easy peasy, man. Showtime LA says, I still don't see Kershaw being on the postseason roster. Okay, that is the good conversation.
I kind of do. Uh, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in Glasnow and Snell.
Hmm.
Uh,
I have confidence that one of them
being
will
healthy.
be fine. And then with Ohtani, it just depends. I can see. Well, put it this way, and I've said it many times. I just want Kershaw to earn it.
Yeah.
I want him to be given that stuff, but I don't know. He actually has been better than a lot of us thought. Um, he he's making it work with the stuff that he has, but is that something that can work in a playoff game?
Uh, I think it can. Kershaw is a savvy, gritty, grinder veteran. That's going to come out there and I this is a different Kershaw, in my opinion, this year, than the past, 3 or 4 years. I think he's got a little bit more, something to prove. Uh, he's committed. I just see a grit to him um, this year that we haven't seen, in a bit. So yeah, I want. Am I going to be a little nervous with him? But yeah, everybody's going to, with his track record, that's there. But I'm not going to be surprised if he dominates,
Mm.
in a postseason game, or throws like, 5, 6 solid innings and only gives up like one run. Um, it's, I could see that out of him.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it.
It would be wonderful. I mean, I think a lot of us just, after 2023, we definitely didn't want to see him go out like that. That was really
Yeah,
sad. And then just last year, not, I mean, only got 7 start. And so this year he's come back. He's gotten the 3K, to 3,000, 3K, which was huge. I think he realized that it was important. And to us as Dodger fans, we were really important. No Name was there. Good for you. So was I.
mhm.
Um, it was when he came out in the 6th inning again. It was it was loud. It was really cool to hear how bad people are. And from my seat, I was able to see the bullpen. The bullpen was freaking out.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, after he got the strikeout in the 5th, they're like they were like telling the guys to sit down because there were guys getting loose. And it was one of those things where the team wanted it, the fans wanted it. And it was the weirdest thing, man, because where I was in section 49 in the field level, and and it was tough kind of to see the home plate umpire, and he was always a little slow with his calls. And you see Kirsch just kind of walk off the mound. I'm like, what happened? He didn't raise his arms or anything like that. It was like, wait, did something happen? Oh, he got it.
Right, right.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was a little bit delayed on that strike call.
Yeah, but you
So
look at it, it was the right call. I mean, I looked at the
it was.
replays and all that. It was it didn't hit the target, so it looked like it was further outside than it was, but it was a good call.
Yeah.
Um, Blue did a good. I never saw the umpire scorecard for that one, but I thought from what I saw, because even when I'm at the game, I got the MLB at back because I love to see if the umpire's screwing up on the calls. Um, but he seemed to have done a really good job.
Hmm.
Let's see. No Name asked, do you think Sirota is our best prospect now? Has he surpassed Hope and JDP? I don't know about that, but man, that's gonna. I'm so glad they made that trade. No shade against Luck, but we we traded a guy who has a .1 WAR right now and only 4 home runs in Cincinnati. We got back a really hot prospect, and we got another draft pick out of it.
Hmm.
All day, every day. I mean, the Dodgers don't get these good opportunities in the draft, so they have to go make things happen, like trade for Zaire Hope and Jackson Ferris for a guy that doesn't have a spot, and then trading a guy I think that is what I think Gavin Lux. I really like Gavin Lux. He's an average Major League Baseball player, though.
Yeah.
I'll trade an average second baseman any day for a really good risk, which is
Hmm.
Sirota and that draft pick. It's a little gambling, a little wild card action there, but where would Gavin Lux, if he was on the team right now, what would he be doing?
Right.
There's no spot for him. He'd probably be taking Kim's time away.
Well, if they kept Lux, I don't even think they would have gotten Kim. So
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah, that's true. Oh gosh, can you imagine that?
yeah.
Um,
But I would say on that question, is Mike Sirota our best prospect right now? In my opinion, he's probably in the top 5
yeah.
for it. Quintero at a Rancho, I,
Mm.
I think is a better outfielder and a better hitter than Sirota. He doesn't have the speed that Sirota has, um, and Zaire Hope is got the power once his bat is on. He does have the speed. Uh, Josue DePaula, he's just an all around good player. Uh, so I'd have Sirota in my top 5.
Yeah.
And for the outfield portion of it. But a lot of people are freaking Quintero right now, and that dude is impressive, and he is solid.
And he will be going to Great Lakes, I believe, in July after the draft happens.
Yes.
Well deserved. And I think we were in the dugout together
Mhm.
last year when Quintero was throwing the ball from center field into the dugout.
Yeah, into the dugout, almost hit
I
us.
mean, he was just letting it go, but
Mhm.
he's a new player. And even in spring training, I was only there, 3 days or whatever, but hearing his bat in batting practice, it's just,
Mhm.
it was special. There's so much there. Yeah, we're in terms of outfield, I don't think we need to. No prospect is guaranteed, but to go, do we have future prospects for the outfield? I think we're in really good shape there.
I
And
think with the development of these kids, uh, the outfield for the Dodgers, if they do it right,
Mhm.
it's is set. You
Yeah.
know that I think they're going to build these kids behind Andy Pajes,
Yep.
and build around him. And I don't, you know, it's probably not going to be a popular opinion on it, but I really don't see Josue DePaula possibly staying in the organization. Uh, just like I don't really see Freeland staying in the organization. I think that they may be a trade piece, possibly next year, with the amount of talent that we have in the outfield.
Yeah, and given how this is a window right now, where Freddie's 35, Mookie's 32, Shohei's 30, um, there are no untouchable prospects.
Mm-mm.
You got to win. Now's the time. So if all of a sudden some pitcher comes on the market that can help them, okay, here we go. I think they would do it, even though I'm still surprised, and I don't know how really true it is that they wouldn't trade Rushing for a Crochet. I don't know. That guy's, I don't know if that's true. And also, remember, Crochet was also doing that whole thing about, I'm not going to pitch in the playoffs unless I get money and all that type of stuff. And so maybe that was part of it also, because that's kind of a crappy. But
I always think Dalton Rushing is kind of an untouchable no matter what. Um,
hope so.
I don't really see them trading him, especially for what he's doing, and seeing him in the clubhouse and how he interacts with the pitchers, and
Yeah.
I don't really see it. I really don't.
And with him also, and I think it was Chad Moriyama tweeted, after a tweet, something that, or on X, it said Will Smith feels so great on June 30th or whenever it was,
Mhm.
and he just goes, "That's because we have Dalton Rushing," or
Yep.
"That's thank you, Dalton Rushing." Because first of all, I mean, so I am an Austin Barnes truther. I love the guy, but he couldn't throw anymore. He's a singles hitter. Dalton Rushing can throw.
Mhm.
And he's been, man, I've been so impressed with the growth that I've seen of him behind the plate. And I think with more at bats, the adjustment, it's harder to adjust to major league pitching when you're playing once every 3 or 4 days. However, we're seeing some glimpses here and there. I'm and he's such a he's so into it. Yeah. He just his depth of knowledge about what he's doing. He's such a student of the game. It's really great to see. I think he will advance in some ways a bit quicker than Smith as a catcher that is trusted by the pitchers. We saw that with Smith. It took a while. Um, and you'd see people would say something. People go, no, no, there's no way Will Smith's the greatest thing. No, it's not just about hitting the ball. It's the pitchers being comfortable. And we've seen now where Will Smith was masterful last season in the postseason.
Mhm.
And so you go, oh, he has graduated to being that guy now. That's why probably one of the reasons they were comfortable letting go of Austin Barnes, because they trust fully in Will Smith now, including the
Oh,
pitchers.
oh, definitely. And then having, like you're talking about, I think this is the best. We've been covering Dalton Rushing for a number of years now.
Yeah.
Uh, and to me, this is the best he's ever looked behind the plate. This is the most comfortable I've ever seen him behind the plate.
Mm.
Uh, you know, Before he even got called up, he had I don't want to say a lot of pass balls, but it wasn't uncommon for him to get a pass ball. Granted, the pitching isn't as accurate, as it is in the majors,
Right.
but it was there. Last night he had like one, and that was like his first one, in a number of his starts. I'm not too worried about his bat, because
Yeah.
the bat's gonna come. And I don't think he needs to be a power bat. I think he needs to be that small ball hitter, that's going to move runners around, get on base, to get put in scoring position and score runs. Uh, it's He has that ability, and then he has the ability to actually put it you know in the upper deck of right field pavilion or left field. So I think Dalton Rushing to his that's why I don't think that they'll ever get rid of him because his upside is so great. And it's just, in my opinion, that'd be the biggest mistake they ever made, is to get rid of him.
Yeah. And it's the absolute fact that in some ways they just stumbled into Will Smith being that good of a catcher. None of us thought this. There was no one saying this, that he was going to be this type of catcher. We thought he was going to be like a defense first catcher. Instead, he's one of our most trusted hitters, super clutch.
Mhm.
And it just, quietest guy on the team, probably, or close to it. And he just comes out and just is remarkable. Really, hey, congratulations to the guy. Becoming elected to the All-Star team, not just
Well
picked
deserved.
by the manager. So it's really cool. And now you've got another one that could be really good. So yeah, let's hold on to both, because catchers also, you know, that 10-year contract isn't going to be just as a catcher. Let's be honest.
Well, look at the abuse they take behind the plate. I mean, it's not a guarantee that they're going to be there, be strong throughout the whole season. And that's why I think the move of bringing Dalton Rushing up, was better than having. Um,
Fiducia.
nah,
Yes.
well, Fiducia's he's decent, but he's not rushing.
Right.
Um, it's just having a younger player that's there, that's durable. Yeah, he's had concussion problems, down in Oklahoma,
Mhm.
but you know he's a great replacement, for Will Smith more than Austin Barnes is, at this point of what it is, and this team wants to win. They made, I don't want to say guarantees, but they've told their players that they're signing that, that our number one goal is to win World Series, and they're putting the players on the field, that can do that for them, even though, some of the ones that they signed are hurt right now, but they're doing a real good job, just like last year, of putting band-aids on everything and making it work.
Yeah, I agree, because by bringing him up when they did, it gives him time to learn,
Hmm.
just in case. Because if Will Smith gets hurt in September and you had to bring someone in and you would go, well, it's either Austin Barnes full time, or we bring a kid up from AAA to get his baptism, versus his baptism's now. So he's going to go through stuff. He's going to strike out half the time, but not forever.
No,
And so if we have to go with him as the main catcher, we have a lot better shot of him being successful. Um, in the postseason than bringing him up at the very end and go, oh my, well, here he is now. Here you go, do it. He's learning. It's got to be rough for him, but at the same time, this seems to be the best approach that can be taken, at least in my opinion. So people asking these are really good questions about, for next year with rushing and Smith and all that. I mean, I advocated years ago to work rushing at third base. They did the left field thing. Will Smith played one game at third base, like in 2021 or something like that. Yeah, and he used to play middle infield and all that stuff. But I think it's a legit question to go, okay, cool this year. Dalton's learning, doing his thing, but is next year do we do the same thing or do we start? Well, you also got to look at it this way. After this year, Freddie's around. He has 2 more years on his contract. I don't know about the outfield. That rushing in left field, all that type of stuff. I'm not counting on anything like that. Rushing can play first base. He's good enough there. I thought he could have been a good third baseman, but I think it's too late.
Yes, it is too late.
Yeah. So there's only one Mookie Betts that can go learn a major league position, or one of the most important positions on the field in just one off season.
Well, it's easier for Mookie because he's got priors in in the infield to where rushing doesn't have that much that's there. Yeah, he's played some portions of third base, and he's played a good amount of time at first base. I honestly I wouldn't be surprised with Freddie's contract is up in 2 years, and he doesn't. Dalton Rushing is is the first baseman that's there.
Yeah. And if in terms of third base, Smith would be a better option. But do they want to do that? I don't know, and we'll find out next year. Let's go win a World Series this year with we look at it, this the strongest pair of catchers in baseball, or at least close to it. And Dalton's only going to get better. We know this.
And I agree with Richard Flores' comment there too. At the end of the day, I will take my chances. Yeah, and me too. Me too.
I think so too. Yeah, yeah. If they, I mean, they're like I said, they've been. It's the WD-40 and duct tape and baling wire pitching rotation for a while, and they kept getting better. They started that first series against the Padres. Weren't the Padres a half a game ahead briefly?
Yeah.
And now I just checked. The Giants and Padres are both 9 back.
How surprised are you on the Diamondbacks?
Well, it's one of those things where Corbin Burns was that big signing and he broke. That was a huge risk on their part. I still think I fear them, but they'd have to get in the playoffs first.
I'm like, even without Corbin Burns,
Yeah.
I thought that they were going to be, a very solid team that was going to be. I didn't think that they were going to win,
Right.
but I thought that they were going to be solid and be spoiler makers.
Yeah.
Either between us or the Padres.
No, I agree. But Zach Gallen's been one of the problems on that team. I think what happened with him is he pitched just way too much in 2023, and he's not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have a choice. You have to go. It's the World Series. How many times do you get there? Diamondbacks don't get there much. You got to go for it. Props to them for going for it, but because that was totally unexpected, of course, that they would be in that World Series. But now there's a price to pay. And Gallen's a free agent at the end of the year, but his marketability is not very high. I think Merrill Kelly can also be a free agent. He's a bit older though, and kind of wish. Hey, I wish the Diamondbacks would trade with the Dodgers. We could use a couple spare parts there, maybe from them, but they won't trade with us. Rumors. There's going to be rumors for sure that the Dodgers are going to go after Ryan McMahon of the Rockies. The Rockies, they're not going to trade with the Dodgers, and if they do, I'll have a giveaway. Because all that money I'm making off the channel. But I just don't see that happening. So So the Dodgers don't get to shop with the in the West anymore. The Padres, last time they traded with the Dodgers, we got this guy named River Ryan for 2020 World Series champion Matt Beatty.
Yeah.
I think he's still playing some. He's playing in the minor league somewhere. Keep grinding, Matt. You're a good dude. And yeah,
I saw him with the Texas team.
I think you're
The
right.
minors.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
The
it was
Texas team.
Frisco. I don't know. Frisco, Texas. Frisco, whatever. It's either the Northern California Friscos or the Texas Friscos.
Yeah.
I don't call them by their real name because they hate it when we call them Frisco. And I don't care. Let's see. Anything else, man? Anything else you like last night? Encouragement. I thought a lot. It's just encouraging game for me.
I think last night's game was I agree, very encouraging. Just to see Mookie and Freddie's last couple games,
Mm-hmm.
seeing Dustin May come out the way that he did, was very encouraging. Seeing Glass now pitching yesterday was amazing. I have high hopes for him. Again, just like everybody in the chat, I just hope that he stays healthy. And can make it. I don't see probably him making a start or being, coming back anytime, until after the All-Star break. And I think that's when we see Edgardo, come back to the team also, is after the All-Star break.
Yeah, I think they want to, because they will have to DFA some guys
Mhm.
when some of these guys come back, and some of these guys have been okay. I mean, what's his name? Will Klein. I've kind of liked what I've seen from him. Well,
Yes.
I love anyone could throw 99 is impressive to me. So, little jealousy there on my part. And even Lou Trevino's done okay, but you go, well, these are the type of guys that get DFA'd.
Yeah.
And I think they want to hold on to them as long as they can before they make some moves. And right now, there's no urgency. They do have the best record in baseball, and it's not by one game; it's by two actually with the Tigers, because we hold the tiebreaker against them because we swept them opening day weekend here. And they've got a 9-game lead. I just don't. There's no reason to panic and go, "Wow, we must start Tyler Glasnow, and we must bring back Blake Snell real quick." Slow roll, everybody.
Oh, completely agree.
Put Mookie on the 10-day IL for a little bit. Put Freddie on it. Just give him a rest. Have him ready in October, because that broken hand last year with Mookie sucked, but boy was he good in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
He was ready to go. Freddie, I still don't know how he did what he did last year in the postseason. That is what a legend.
That was the most unreal thing I've ever seen.
He became, well, he probably still goes in as a Brave into the Hall of Fame if he makes it, but everyone's going to remember him as a Dodger, not as a Brave, just by one swing of the bat.
Well, especially if they go back to back also.
Oh,
I think if they go back to back, I don't see him going in as a Brave.
That'd be cool. I would love that. I've been a retire 5 guy for a while anyway. So you retire it in the name of Freddie Freeman, Corey Seager, and Juan Uribe, and maybe a little Nomar for the 4+1. Just 5 needs to be gone after Freddie, because these guys are.
Yeah,
it's been a great number. Corey Seager, 2020 World Series MVP. Rookie of the year. He's a Dodger. He just he's a Ranger now. It's okay. He got his money. He's happy, man. He's got a baby coming. Really happy for him. He's in Texas. As some of us consider that God's country. I'll
just keep my mouth shut on that one.
Yeah, I got a son out there. I know you've been out there a few times, and yeah, it's all right out there. It's just freaking hot right now. That's for sure.
Shohei, I completely agree with you, but I'm not limited them to Tulsa only. I think that Hope and Tapala could go straight to AAA right now.
I'm a huge fan of pushing these guys. I think I think those guys need a challenge. I think especially Josue. The guy's he knows he's blessed.
Mhm.
He does. I mean, I've talked to him a few times, been in the dugout many times with him. He knows he's blessed. He knows he has a gift. And I think I think a challenge is what he needs. And I don't mind. And there's I never got a chance to talk to Sirota. I never talked to him. Kind of blew that one. And then and Hope, same thing. I just think that he would respond to a challenge so well.
Yes.
Uh, let's see it.
OKC needs some help in the outfield.
I'm all in, man. What Okay, one more topic. One of my OG friend, my OG guy, man, James Outman. What so he's got putting up great numbers. But
Yes.
what are you thinking about him? Is he major league ready?
I think he's major league ready for another team.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say uh, like a team like the A's, um, Reds, something like that. Um, that's going to help them. That they're going to need. Uh, some talent that's there. I really don't see him coming back. Up, and I see him being possibly in some type of a trade um, for next year, if not sooner.
Yeah.
That's same with Bobby Miller. I don't see him being around, especially with the talent that's coming back next year. The pitching is going to get clogged up, and with the talent that we have that's still kind of healthy, in single A, in double A, um, sort of in triple A. I mean, they don't have the talent that they have.
Yeah.
Um, so I just don't see Miller being around uh, very much longer, and James Outman.
Yeah, it's crazy. 2023 was such a banner year for those guys. All right, it's the biggest bust in Dodger history. I'm not going to go with that. No name. I got a whole list, man. Starting with Delino De Shields, who we got in the trade for Pedro Martinez, Billy Ashley, Greg Brock. I mean, I got a load of busts in
Yeah,
Dodger
I
history.
wouldn't say that they're the biggest.
Yeah,
Dodgers.
and they provided a lot of value in 2023, and I still think they. I hope I'm more hopeful than anything. Miller, it's infuriating. He's so talented. I mean, do you think they try him in the bullpen this year, or is it just a lost cause?
I think if they wanted to try him in the bullpen, he'd already be there.
Yeah, that's true. Norm's in the house. Norm in Hawaii. Aloha, my friend. Roberts consistently benching Kim. Kim is infuriating. Well, now with Muncy out, he needs to play more for sure. Let's see, rushing this overmatch the plate. Sometimes I don't think Fiducia is more suited.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that.
You missed it earlier, Norm, but if Smith goes down, Rushing will be ready to take over full time with the seasoning he's getting versus Fiducia. Fiducia would be on the roster for maybe 5 to 10 major league teams.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Rushing would be on most rosters.
Yeah.
And not as even teams would go, oh, well, I got 2 catchers, but I don't, it's like, let's say he was on the Padres. They'd probably go, shoot, we're putting him at catcher. We're putting him at first. We're going to get that 708 hitter, OPS hitter off my team and can't field at first base, or move him to second, or do something. These teams would kill to have him. But Fiducia, there's a different level. Fiducia's good to have. I think he's a good dude. I think he's a nice catcher.
Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, and and we said he needs to get traded. It's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been saying that for how long, Mike?
Wow.
Play him or trade him. It's the right thing to do, and I think Well, I think the biggest issue with that has become the contraction of the overall rosters that's capped out at 165 instead of what was it, like 185, 190.
Yeah.
Teams can't go, oh, I'll just, start moving things. They have to watch their counts a lot more. And I think that MLB, it's kind of like Disney, right? Hey, let's keep raising prices. Oh, we're making hand over fist, but we're going to keep raising prices. Major League Baseball, records everywhere in terms of revenue. Oh, we're going to keep contracting,
Yeah.
or contracting things. I mean, if they had their way, they would get rid of the minor leagues and let become like the NBA or the NFL. But
My biggest thing that I want to see,
hmm,
I want to see the AAA team move to California and put Rancho over in Oklahoma. That AAA team needs to be here.
I agree. No, it makes a lot of sense. Just saving on flights alone. I mean, well, because you've got Vegas, you've got what?
Every other AAA team is in where their main team is at.
Mm-hmm. And it needs to be that. I mean, it makes way too much sense. Well, no, wait. What are the Padres is in El Paso? Who's Angels AAA? I always think it was Salt Lake City, but that's like in the 70s or something like that.
I think you're right. I think it is Salt Lake.
At least it used to be. I don't know. But yeah, it needs to be a little closer, and having two teams in Oklahoma, that's kind of that was an inherited thing. Freeman was not in charge when
Mhm.
that stuff happened. Um,
I don't mind the two teams in Oklahoma, but I think that the AAA team needs to be here in California, alongside the major league team.
well,
So there's
especially
that, you
yeah,
know, movement. I don't have to fly glass now to Oklahoma. He could just take a, you know, hour drive or whatever it is down, down the 210 to,
yep.
over
Him and the Dodgers. One of the Dodger trainers would. I think the guy's main name's Christopher that comes out
there.
with
Mhm.
the rehab guys. Um, just drive on the 10 there and get
Yeah,
over there, and you're there. And
especially
plus,
with being in
new,
Ontario.
well, yeah, this is going to be state of the art stadium.
Hmm.
So yeah, it makes way too much sense, and I wish it just makes way too much sense. Make the California League AAA. That's all you do. If you do that, because then the Padres would be in Lake Elsinore.
Yeah,
You'd have the Angels at Rancho. You'd have the Dodgers in Ontario. Um, you'd at least have the Southern California teams taken care of.
you'd have
Mariners are going to be the ones that.
San Jose is the Giants
Yep.
um, team.
Hmm.
So yeah,
The A's Modesto, right?
Modesto, yeah,
Or wait, is it A's the Modesto or are they Stockton? I get confused.
they're
Stockton,
somewhere in the valley.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, you'd have all the California teams would be here.
Hmm.
You could have the Diamondbacks are one of the teams that's still close, or they could be in Arizona. So what? You got to travel a little bit. Um, yeah, it makes way too much sense. Mike, you're in charge, man. That's one of the best ideas I've heard in a long time regarding the miners. I love it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
That's the best. Well, what do you got any plans for the rest of the day?
Just kind of hanging out. Gonna wait and for the game, see who's gonna start today and what time is it? Almost 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
The Loons are gonna be starting here pretty shortly, so I'll be posting some stuff on them. I'll be posting some stuff on OKC. I'm trying to find the schedule because I want to go out to Arizona
Hmm.
and see some of the ACL teams before they switch over.
Yeah.
Um, there's the Japanese player or the Korean player that I
Yes.
want to get some eyes on. His bat is just like making sound waves from
Mhm.
Arizona to the Pacific Ocean right now.
All of 18 years old. Kasparius is pitching today against
Yeah.
Lance McCullers Jr. No name. Yeah, no, so when I saw him in spring training, I didn't put it together because he doesn't look he's Taiwanese, right?
Yes.
He does, but he doesn't. He's a mix.
Hmm.
So he didn't look. He didn't look like the name.
I thought he was Korean in the beginning.
Yeah, something like that. But it's like, oh, that's the guy. Oh, wow. I still can't pronounce his name. And that's. I think today, wife and I, we're gonna actually go see that F1 movie.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
give that a shot. I I don't like F1 like I used to because I like V8s and V10s. These V6s are, come on, come on. But yeah, stay safe out there. I don't know. One thing I do know, I know a lot of firemen, volunteer firemen, and former firemen. They also are the ones. All of a sudden, there's fireworks around their house on the 4th of July. I don't know.
Probably. I will say this is the first 4th of July that I'm not working in
That's
34
good.
years.
That's good. Oh man, that must have been. All it takes is one knucklehead to start a fire,
Oh, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, or to sew someone's hand back together or whatever.
That was most of it. Is
Yeah.
people losing fingers and burns, and it
Yeah.
was insane. Just the stupidity when you mix alcohol and explosives together. What
Yeah.
happens?
Well, the best fireworks show for people interested, going to the game tonight. Leave at 9. I don't care about the fireworks show at Dodger Stadium. Just go drive down the 5. Freaking amazing. It's amazing. I every year I want to go. Because I went Wednesday. It's like I'm not doing it again. I'm good. Um, plus I wanted to see the flyover too. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, well, everyone stay safe.
I do think Ohtani pitches tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
it. Yeah. Always against Valdez, was friend or whatever. I think he's a free agent at the end of the year. That dude, I still remember first seeing him in the 2020 season. Never Framber, right? Something like that. Valdez, lefty, 26-year-old lefty, wasn't even a prospect, and he got really good.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's that. So he'll be a free agent, but he'll probably be like 32, an older free agent. But
Yeah.
not interested. We Dodgers should. I don't. Hopefully, the Dodgers don't have to go shopping for starting pitching for a long time.
You hope not.
We want to see number 80 out there. We want to see. Was it Rivers 77? Was River Ryan? Or what?
Yeah.
Hopefully, they get big league numbers eventually. But Dustin May never did. Been more Shohei, more Yoshinobu, more Roki Sasaki, some Kyle Hurt, some Gavin Stone. Well,
That's who I'm waiting for.
Gavin Stone, number 35, man. I keep forgetting about that.
That's who I'm waiting for.
Yeah. So people forget so much about what he did last year. He was so important. One of the most important. Pitched the most innings. Had some outstanding games. Took a no-hitter against the Padres into the 6th, 7th inning. And that, just phenomenal. And
Yeah.
as much as anyone, I don't care the fact he didn't pitch in the playoffs. He deserved a ring as much or more than anybody on that team.
He's the Andy Pajes of the pitchers.
Yes.
Everybody hated him and wanted to get rid of him.
Oh my gosh.
He was the worst ever.
Because in 2023 he had some bad starts. He was bad all of 2023. He was bad in OKC. The only reason he was promoted because they ran out of pitchers. They just had to do what they had to do. But you know what? I always go back to Mike Trout. Mike Trout, his first cup of coffee was terrible. And we saw it with Justin Robleski last year. And it repeats over and over. Give them a chance. Some of them will still not work out, but some of them could be really good. So don't sell low, folks. Don't sell on some of these guys just because they have a bad start, especially if you're doing that fantasy stuff. Don't give up on them because you never know you just don't know. You can't tell until they actually get a real chance. So
exactly.
We're still loaded with all sorts of guys. We're going to be stacked with pitching next year. Yes. Yep.
It's going to be crazy.
I'm so excited about it.
Well, I mean, but you do got to keep in mind, they're not all going to be coming back and and playing. They're all coming back for rehabbing.
Yeah.
For Stone and River and and Kyle.
Yeah.
Uh, they're-
Those
they may be ready after All Star, maybe a little bit longer, or they may slow play them throughout the whole year. So
Yeah,
um,
I could see that for sure.
it's going to be fun going to Oklahoma and watching them pitch and rehab. It's going to be fun seeing them. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm planning on being in Arizona. The first week for about a month.
Awesome.
Just because of of No Name's comment of Stone and River Ryan
Yeah.
and Kyle Hurd, because I think they're going to be there.
And they'll be doing a lot of rehabs on the backfields also, folks.
Yeah.
So I caught so much that we caught Ohtani back there, caught Freddie
Yeah.
Freeman, Will Smith,
Hmm.
and we were able to hang out there with Roki making his first first pitch home run, deep right field. How about a quick hit of pitchers at minor league level whose stock is increasing this season? Off and
Ooh.
on with Peter Hubeck.
Yeah.
Still believe in him. Campos is I expected more, but what are you seeing? Well,
Well,
Christian, ah,
I just wrote an article on Ronan Kopp. His
how's he
stock,
doing?
his stock is going way up.
Oh, is he finding the plate?
Oh, he is this. I'm saying this is one of his best years.
Nice.
Ronan is he's still a little all over the place,
Uh-huh.
but his consistency is way better this year. His upside is just
Yeah,
yeah,
upside's always been there. It's just, yeah, now it's, oh man. Well, that's good to hear.
yeah.
The guy with he was, he's still at Rancho. Christian,
Yes, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
just wait a, sorry,
Yeah.
man alive, old man brain.
Mhm.
That guy's stock has really risen. Um, we're the only live stream today. Well, thank goodness. Hopefully, I might make a whole 50 cents off this one. Oh wait, no, but Richie had me a super chat, so I'm at least gonna make $5.
Sean
Um,
Lennon.
that's right, man. Let's see. So yeah, Christian's been absolutely the biggest riser. He's been making the top 10, the top 30 list now.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, speculation is Sheehan will get the start on Sunday. Yeah, I mean, Doc mentioned something about that. Well, part of his brief outing though is he kind of got lit up a bit.
Yeah,
Um, but I still,
he went from a perfect game to getting
I
shelled.
know it's classic. He's one of those guys though. I really enjoy watching him pitch.
Oh, definitely.
He's unique.
Super nice kid too.
Oh gosh, yeah, he really is. Yeah, he actually when I first met him, he knew my channel, and yeah, I've had a good chat with him and at FanFest.
Yeah.
Just yeah, Doug McCain said it best. He was talking about Landon Knack, and he goes, "You can tell who has good parents."
Yes.
And as we know, the Dodgers have really focused on that, especially with their draft picks. High character guys. A lot of them have been very good to us.
Yep.
Um, I've only been to Rancho twice this year. It's terrible,
I've been once.
man. I just life's busy, man. Plus, I don't know. I told you I'm a chaplain now with
Oh,
called
nice.
organization called Racers for Christ.
Good for you.
Yeah. Oh, Frosto having times changing, Frosto having a tough year in the minors. Yeah, his so
I,
is he in the bullpen now for sure? That's what it
he's been
seems.
pitching, he's been coming out of the bullpen, his last 3 or 4. But I Frosso's not really, a big concern to me because I think this is his rehab year.
Mhm.
Since coming back. So next year is going to be the one that's going to be, ooh, maybe he's not so good anymore. He's still got his stuff. It's just he's a little wild right now. He's all over the place.
A lot of guys have that when they come back from these long layoffs with big injuries, surgery. I don't mean it was a shoulder issue with him. Was it
Mhm.
the labrum?
I think it was the labor.
So labrum, I mean, and I mean, rest in peace to his baseball career, but Julio Urias, what he had, he got hurt. I think he got cut on either in June or July
Hmm.
of 2017.
Took him a while to come back.
Yeah, it was up until September the next year he finally started hitting some velocity. Because even when he was rehabbing at Rancho, when I was covering him there, he was like 90, 91. But then he did a couple, I remember a game against the Cardinals. He came out and pegged like 97. Like, oh, he's back.
Hmm.
So it'll take a while. Shoulders are different than elbows. Elbows, and with Tommy John surgery, some guys are, Emmett Sheen's looked really good in general,
Yep.
but other guys haven't. It took. Look at Walker Buehler. He's still not back. He had some moments, fortunately at the right time for us. And Dustin May, his first time coming back did not look good. And his second time, it's taken a bit. Wildness has been an issue with him. And then there's, like the old man Verlander, when he came back from Tommy John, he did really well. And DeGrom, boy, he looks good.
I think the biggest name I think that we missed, Tim,
Hmm.
who's been the most impressive in my eyes this year is Patrick Copen.
Oh gosh, yeah, yeah. What an amazing story.
Yeah,
I didn't know that he lost his vision.
yeah.
I mean, I have an interview with him in the beginning of 2017 at Media Day, but he's pegging 100, and
He looks
uh,
really good.
yeah, he's just going to keep moving up that list.
Hmm.
Um,
Just recently went up to Tulsa for
yeah,
the 2 or 3 weeks. Had a
yep,
really good start. That's there. So he needs to make some adjustments to the batters that are up in Double A right now.
right. Yeah, that's a really good point. So there's more pitching coming. I mean, we had a great wave, including a lot of guys that are on the injured list, but just what we've seen so far with some of those guys that come out in the last couple of years, we've seen brilliance from Sheehan. Remember, he threw a
Mhm.
6 innings and no-hit ball. We saw brilliance from Gavin Stone in 2024. River Ryan, he was so good. Oh my gosh.
His shortstop play, that he made in front of Doc,
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
I forgot about
on
that.
that bunt.
Now it's vivid in my head now.
Yeah.
And so, and Kyle Hurts had some moments.
Yeah.
There's a lot there. There's more coming. The Dodgers are good at getting a lot out of them. We just got to hope that there's a better way to stay healthy. At the end of the day, you gotta have some guys to stay. You have to have enough guys healthy. Because last year the Dodgers were one run away from running out of pitching.
Dude, I was amazed that they won the World Series
It
last year.
is, yeah,
That's just unbelievable.
yeah. All right, cool, man. I'm gonna end it.
Thanks
Um,
for having me, Tim. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming in. I'm just, what I'm gonna do when I do this, I'm just gonna send it to you and a few others. Anyone who wants to come in can come in. I want to add a little more dynamic to this. I think it's funner for me. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I got the chat and someone else. And, you
Yeah.
and I can probably keep going for the next.
Right. We sit on the bench out there at spring
Hey,
training.
why don't you give out your all your media stuff that so that people can? I mean, they probably already follow you anyway, but let's make sure it's out there.
My my main thing is Twitter, and that's at msalas24. I do have a YouTube channel that I'm going to start
Good.
posting on, and so I don't really want to get that out right now.
Okay.
But
I think
yeah,
I have it.
I,
Didn't you? Yeah, from a few years ago, a couple years ago.
I changed the name of it
Okay. Cool.
um,
Looking forward to
to
seeing it.
God. What did I change the name to? I
No, don't let it out.
Dodgers After Duty, because that's my Twitter.
Yeah.
I tweet everything to Dodgers After Duty.
I like that. It was like, who is this guy? Oh, it's Mike.
Yeah.
And then it made sense. Because I think the
So
first time I saw it was you were commenting on something, on a fire or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Was it the Madera one or the one in up near Santa Maria?
yeah, it's the Madera.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or
that's
the
it.
Madre Fire.
Yeah, not the Madera's. That's that's
So
more.
that's mainly where you can see me at. I post a lot, mainly on Twitter. I'm not a big Instagram guy. I think Twitter's a lot easier for me. So I'm just going to concentrate on Twitter. And also next year, you'll probably see a lot of stuff as far as live streaming from me on my YouTube channel.
Awesome.
Going to Arizona, to Oklahoma, to the loons and all that. So I'll be doing a lot of live streaming and traveling, next year. So
That's awesome. That's what you get to do when you retire.
yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, Mike. And thank you, everyone, for chiming in. The chat's always fun and always informative. So I appreciate you guys. As always, God bless and go Dodgers.